This is Public Access Lost Transmissions Part 18. We have the gang here. We've had a little bit of a break, but we're going to do our best to get picked up with where things were, and we're going to transition into some fun stuff today, I think. So the last thing that happened, in big picture terms at least, is the Deep Lake Devils started attacking people at night. Amber and this ranch hand Wayne got attacked. So did Zachary and Samantha. Taylor, I can't remember where we left you, Taylor. What were you doing last time?
Um, the homeless guy got attacked and got his head ripped off by
That
the
was
Deep
like
Lake Devils.
that was like 5 sessions
Was it?
ago.
Oh
That
no!
was a long time
Damn.
ago.
Okay. Oh yeah. Then I was Dream with the
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
zombie
Yeah, that's right.
slayer
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A couple of you were hanging out with Muffy, the
lady.
zombie killer. That's right. Yeah, yeah,
Muffy
yeah.
the zombie killer. Right.
Yeah,
Oops,
I've
I'm
gotten this
sorry.
all I've gotten
That
this
was
all
just
twisted
very
up in my head.
memorable with the
Oh, right.
head.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah, I
Amber
think we,
and Taylor were on their way to White Spray.
yeah.
Is that where we
In
ended?
Muffy's bus.
That's right. Okay. So you two are going to White Spray. Okay, so we're a little okay. And then Zachary, you and Samantha. Oh no, we're way past the Deep Lake Devils thing. That's right. So Amber and Taylor were on their way to White Spray, if I remember correctly, with Muffy, this actress Geraldine Ambrose, who played Muffy the zombie killer. And Zachary, um, you had just escaped this like attack from this person dressed up like Hampton the pig inside the abandoned meat processing plant. And it was you and I'm pretty sure it was Samantha Harrington
Anthony
and
Harrington.
you had Linnea Rodenbecker with you as well. And so you all escaped, and we're going to probably pick up with that pretty quickly. And it's been a minute since we've seen Shane. Shane, I think the last time we saw you, you had talked to Father Rogelio.
I was with Dolores Rudbecker,
That's
and
right.
we were
Yeah,
performing Anything Goes with my dead brother.
that's right. I think it's okay if we just leave that scene unresolved. I don't think we need to know what happens immediately after that, to be honest. Okay, that sounds good. Let's take a look at the active mysteries. We do currently have the Dream, Slumber Party Summoning Circle, and On Strange Wings. They're all in various states of investigation and need of resolution. You have watched a total of 7 Odyssey tapes at this point, so that's pretty great. Zachary, I had mentioned at the end of the last session that Samantha found a tape. She swiped a tape at the Janie Meatpackers plant
Mm.
and gave it to you because she knows you're looking for weird tapes. But it's not an Odyssey tape. It is instead a VHS tape labeled Cook Off 87. You'll eventually get back to 26 Rodenbecker Street. Um, I kind of like the idea of maybe Samantha and Linnea. Samantha takes Linnea somewhere safe. You're there. You do have this tape. Are you going to watch it?
I think Zachary's curiosity will be too much. Like, what on earth is a tape doing in this place? This has got to be connected to TV Odyssey somehow, even if it's not an Odyssey tape per se. So
Might
yes,
be. Yeah. I mean, it's just interesting if nothing else.
but
There's
I
got to be
might wait.
something
I
there.
might wait for some of the others to come back before actually watching it. I think.
Well, everyone's kind of split up right now, so I'll leave that up to you. But let's kind of figure out where we're at. I think we were actually in the middle of a day phase still, if I remember correctly. So Amber, Taylor, you're in you're in the bus with Geraldine Ambrose on the way to White Spray. I need to pull up my sheet for the dream. Give me one moment. I'm going to pause real quick. Okay, so rewind just a bit. We are going to watch the tape. Yes, the chili cook-off tape. Very good. Now, Zachary, you have the tape in the VCR, and it starts playing, and it seems like the tape features the events of a group of people, a group of young people back in 1987 who are on some sort of road trip. Indeed, they're on some sort of road trip and they are stopping in New Mexico, or well, specifically in La Fresca, to attend the DeGoya County Chili Cook-Off, the Great DeGoya County Chili Cook-Off. And here we have a brand new mystery presenting itself. You four are now the road trippers. It's the summer of 1987, and you have just finished your first year at the University of New Mexico. You're heading out on a road trip that will take you all across the country, but your first stop is the small town of La Fresca. Every year, the best chili chefs in and around New Mexico gather at the Moroccan Hotel and Convention Center in La Fresca to compete in the Great DeGoya County Chili Cook-Off. The prizes: fame, favor, and a $250 Sears gift card. The Chili Cook-Off is sponsored by Janie Meat Packers Limited and is a major event in tiny DeGoya County. This is a question for each of you. You and your friends are attending the Chili Cook-Off because it seems like a fun, kitschy thing to do, but also because you're intrigued by the rumors swirling around it. People going missing, strange gatherings at night, orgiastic celebrations, and other bizarre events have all been connected to the Chili Cook-Off over the years. What specific rumor have you heard about the Chili Cook-Off?
I've
So,
heard,
oh, go on.
oh, I've heard that is like a special category that's invitation only for people who are competing to make like roadkill based chili. So armadillo, raccoon, that kind of thing, jackrabbit. And if you're really lucky, maybe like a what's the cryptid that's like a rabbit with the deer horns on it?
Jackalope.
A jackalope.
Jackalope?
Yeah. Maybe chupacabra.
Hitchhikers.
You know. What about the rest of you?
I heard that the chili is actually made to feed something big that's not us and not the members of the community and not the people who compete. But you need a lot of chili to feed whatever it is they're feeding.
Interesting.
I've heard that that the chili and the orgiastic celebrations sometimes become one and the same, and contestants will sometimes engage in something called splashing, which is the use of food stuff in sexual encounters.
Hmm. I've heard there's like a beauty pageant, and instead of let's say swimwear, there's like people just wearing aprons.
Fantastic. The first hours of the chili cook-off are fun, I guess, but mostly unremarkable as far as these things go. There's a lot of beer, a lot of live music, and a whole lot of chili. It's nearly sundown, and you all have just met up in the parking lot trying to decide whether to stay for the final round of the competition or to get back on the road. We're going to go ahead and role play this scene. If you need some inspiration, think about the best chili you tasted today or the most amusing attraction or display you saw. And here I'll tell you that you are playing alternate versions of your Latchkeys that exist in 1987. So they look and sound perhaps very similar to your Latchkey, but they're different people. They have different interests and ambitions and aims. We'll explore that more later. But for now, you're all just, you're back. You've eaten a lot of chili. You're in the parking lot. You're trying to figure out whether you're going to stay or you're going to go to the final round of the competition. Yeah, take it away. I'll interrupt whenever it's necessary.
What are we doing? Are we hanging out or are we heading out?
I'd actually like to hang out because I heard that there's free drinks to make the chili go down better later. So maybe that's something I could interest you in.
Well, I'm in.
I'm okay to go. They didn't really have any good vegetarian options.
Beer's vegetarian, right, Shane?
I'm sorry, what?
Beer's vegetarian.
I don't drink beer.
But technically it's correct, yes.
And they also have like herbal schnapps, I think. So that sounds vegetarian as well.
Yeah, but if she doesn't drink, that's not
Beer. She said beer.
good.
Shane just takes a drag from her cigarette, and we see that she has this kind of like chipped dark red nail polish on, and she's wearing like fishnet gloves, and her lips are this kind of like dark wine color, and she has equally sort of dramatic goth eye makeup to match her disposition.
I think Amber is wearing a pink polo shirt and she's got like pearl earrings and a high ponytail. Very preppy. And I think she says, yeah, looks at her expensive watch. Well, I don't really think there's much more going to happen here around.
You all
Still, come on.
Oh, no, go ahead. No, please go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Do you really want to hit the road now? We could get an early start tomorrow if nothing interesting happens today.
And if we don't get too hungover.
If you don't get too hungover.
Well, there's 4 of us to share the driving duties.
Yeah, and if Shane
Well,
doesn't drink,
I mean,
Shane could drive.
First
No?
shift.
not every one of us has to drive, but I want to remember you. Every one of us has to chip in when it comes to the gas expenses.
Yeah.
Of course,
Okay.
Mom, of course.
You all suddenly feel a slight but distinct drop in temperature. You're standing in a large shadow that wasn't there before. When you look up, you see a man, the biggest man you've ever seen, standing near you. He's at least 7 feet tall, with shoulders as wide as the handle of a shovel is long. He's wearing a red shirt with pearl buttons swelling to burst, jeans that look like they were pieced together from multiple discarded pairs, and dusty cowboy boots. He has a big Stetson on his head and a bolo tie shaped like the sun around his neck. He addresses you. I had a dream last night. I saw a tower of bodies laid before an altar of bone. So many bodies, more bodies dead than walk the earth. And upon that altar sat a queen, or was it a she-wolf? Mother of Rome, did it please you to watch your children fight like dogs for your love? Friends, Romans, I have come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. Forgive me. Hell is empty and all the devils are here. The wolves have heard the birthing howls of their sister mother, and they be gathered for the feast. Lord, what fools these mortals be! The man turns and addresses someone next to all of you, but no one is there. Begone, Sycorax! This island is no longer yours. Let the beast writhing in your womb die unborn. Let the milk within your bosom run sallow, and the man doubles in pain, and worms begin
Are you okay, sir?
The worms begin to writhe beneath the surface of his jaundiced skin as though they were trying to rip through and touch the air outside. He has a look of pure desperation in his jowly face. You must hurry and stop these foul disciples, these flesh renders, these carrion eaters who feed on death instead of life. Violent delights have violent ends. Never forget it. The sweetest honey is loathsome in its own deliciousness. He is mad that trusts in the tameness of a wolf. They are called the disciples of the flesh, and they serve she that feeds. Go back to their temple, in the Moroccan hotel and resort. Return to their gluttonous rite disguised as a cooking competition. Unmask the disciples or use your own dark rites to bring low she that feeds. If you don't, we all shall suffer. The man, screaming in agony, disappears in a ball of white flame. Who among you has the highest sensitivity? It's a tie. I'm going to pose the question to Shane. Shane, what sign or message is burned into the parking lot concrete where he was standing?
It is the alchemical symbol of sulfur, just sort of burned into the pavement, the asphalt.
Intriguing. And now I must address you as players, not characters. The road trippers can get in their Jeep and drive away. If they do, you should each narrate an epilogue for your character showing how they put this strange incident behind them and enjoy the rest of their vacation. Then, the sign or message burned in the concrete is a clue you can use for one of your other active mysteries. However, if the road trippers return to the convention center and do as the big man implores, the sign or message burned into the concrete is the first clue you find for investigating the mystery of the chili cook-off and the disciples of the flesh. Know that completing this mystery will give your Latchkeys access to a new move and special rewards. However, if your road tripper is killed, your Latchkey must immediately mark the chromatic desert. If you have already marked the chromatic desert, you must mark the pure white signal. Furthermore, you do not have access to your Latchkey moves, nor do you have access to your corner of the house. You'll have access to other items, which we'll talk about if you decide to go forward. Also, you don't have access to the key of the child. You only have access to the key of desolation and a special key that's on this mystery. And so, at this point, we need to vote whether the road trippers are going to go back to the convention center or whether they are going to get back in their Jeep. If they get back in their Jeep, the tape that Zachary is watching is fairly short, though strange.
I think we see Zachary
I'm hungry.
shivering after the chill in his kind of like cut off sleeve Memphis group design. tank top, and
I have a shirt like that. I should have worn it.
he's like, geez, what the fuck just happened? Are we what who was that guy? Should we call someone? Or
I think maybe he was an act, maybe like a magician.
oh right, yeah. What does that Shane, what does that say on the ground there?
Shane kneels down in her sort of like black, oversized tank top and like copious amounts of studded belts and her black skirt. And she rubs the symbol in the pavement and she says, he's not a magician, an alchemist. This is a symbol for black sulfur, brimstone.
And what's that then?
Brimstone is an element of hell.
He's saying he used some kind of pyrotechnic effect.
Maybe. Or maybe he went back to hell. Maybe hell is in the Moroccan motel and resort.
I
Well-
can't remember that part of my chemistry classes, to be honest.
We came out here looking for something, and I think we found it, or it found us.
Is it chili?
It could be in the chili.
Ooh, gross. I mean, yeah, someone has to do something apparently about that.
Sounds
He
like we've
came to
got
us for some
one
reason,
vote.
I suppose.
One vote so far for going back in from Shane.
Yeah, from Ember as well.
It is intriguing, no? Isn't it?
Well,
I'll
after
give
that,
the magician that. He certainly made me want to go back in.
I could use a Budweiser, so it's yeah.
Fantastic. The road trippers are returning to the convention center. We will start by going around the table to learn more about the road trippers. Again, I'll remind you, you're playing alternate timeline, alternate versions of your Latchkeys. We want to know what this version of your character is studying at the University of New Mexico, what they like to do for fun, and then everyone else will say one thing they think you brought with you on the road trip, which you will add to your corner of the Jeep that functions just like equipment from your corner of the house. And so, who would like to start by telling us what they're studying at the University of New Mexico and what they like to do for fun?
Well, Taylor, pronouns he, him, is studying medicine and is focusing on going into pathology. So basically,
what does he like to do for fun?
pathology, is that not?
Yeah.
Look at dead things. No, I go on extended motorcycle trips
Mm.
by
Okay.
himself.
What's his style like?
Not as what's his style like? Good question. So practical, I'd say. Like very simple shirt and jeans, but has a motorcycle jacket and leather gloves, like these motorcycle gloves that he has hanging from his belt, you know. It's pretty stupid, but he can jump on his bike at any moment and right into the sunset. So that's
I mean, I'll just
Correct.
start by saying you're all in a Jeep, but maybe there's also maybe you're in a motorcycle following behind the Jeep. Um,
I would like that.
I'm gonna give you Big Daddy's big belt buckle.
What type of bike is it? Is it like a off-road bike, a big kind of American
like a Harley
Harley? Yeah.
or like
Yeah,
a
it's like Harley, Hell's
Hell's
Angels,
Angel type bike. Yeah.
yeah, stuff like that. So can I retcon?
Sure.
Actually, maybe I'm studying to be a taxidermist,
Okay.
not medicine, taxidermy.
I think
And
you've got a pouch of animal teeth with you.
mm,
You never know when that could come in handy.
and I think you've got like a pretty worn Polaroid of one of those taxidermy cryptids, you know, where it's like fairly obviously kind of just a regular rabbit that somebody's glued some horns onto, but it's, you know, supposed to be a jackalope.
Fantastic. Shane, Amber, Zachary, who wants to go next?
I think Shane is like a liberal arts major, but I think in her spare time she enjoys hanging out in graveyards and studying the occult.
I think you have a book.
You have
I think you have a book on like local folklore and myths.
Take it.
you have a rosary with a large upside down cross.
You have a pack of incense sticks.
What's the scent?
I mean, sandalwood kind of the default, right?
Yeah.
On the top of our van is your coffin.
I'll take it.
Well, it's a Jeep, so it'd be like in the back of the Jeep, I
Oh, yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
A large
Hanging on the
casket
back
at the
like
back
a
of the Jeep.
Where's
Yeah.
the hearse when you need it?
I know, exactly. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. Amber or Zachary?
I think Zachary has floated around a couple of different majors. He's on a football scholarship, so he's a UNM Lobo, and yeah, so he's, you know, there, and I think he's wearing some kind of athletic shorts and white high top sneakers, and he has some like sunglasses with the chromatic kind of effect on the lenses that kind of never seem to be on his face. They're always like up on his head or on the back of his head or on a hat or something, you know.
I'm gonna say this is kind of out of left field, so to speak, but I'm gonna give you an inhaler. I don't think you have asthma, you just like it.
I'm gonna give you your week's worth of steroid cycles.
I think you brought a jockstrap and a cup.
and you have a football jersey with the signature of some football player on it that you have had since you were a kid.
Fantastic. Amber, that just leaves you.
So I think Amber studies business law, and for fun, she goes golfing. Like maybe she spends a lot of time at a country club and occasionally plays golf, but
God,
yeah,
you're like
as you
like
do.
you're playing my sister, which is deeply, deeply frustrating.
Oh no.
No, I love it. It's great.
You have unbreakable scrunchies.
Like for the hair, for the
Yeah, for your hair,
ponytail.
or you can put it on your wrist, if you want like a little bracelet moment. Oh.
Cool.
I think you brought your lucky driver, and I think whenever you all like stop to like stop at the restroom or get gas or whatever, you like drive a few balls across the highway.
You have a fancy programmable calculator, one of those Texas Instruments thingies.
Graphing calculator.
And I think you have a engraved business card holder that was a gift from probably one of your parents when you started university.
My aunt
Cool.
worked for Texas Instruments for 20 years, making
Oh,
making
wow.
those calculators. Yeah.
So we have your aunt and your sister.
No, my aunt and my sister represented in Amber's character. Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay.
Quick question.
mhm.
Did I get something from everyone? I have the
think so.
belt buckle, the pouch, and the Polaroid.
And the motorcycle.
Oh, the motorcycle was the
Yeah.
item.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm. As I've noted, this is a separate mystery that you're all going to be playing. Like the other mysteries, you have questions and opportunities. There are 2 questions and opportunities here. The first question is, who is the leader of the disciples of the flesh? It's a complexity 6. The opportunity is to resolve the mystery by challenging them to a chili cook-off to assume leadership of the cult. Between that, food, sex, jock straps, and everything else, I think we can kind of tell where this session's going to go, and that's okay because we are watching a tape. Alternatively, the question could be that you answer, how does she that feeds commune with its followers? That's a complexity 8. You resolve the mystery by conducting a ritual in the hotel's basement that will allow you to enter the dead god's realm and shatter she that feeds' connection to the material world once and for all. You also have access to the key of good eaten, which I have put in chat for you all to review. It can be chosen 3 times in place of choosing the key of desolation, should you need to turn a key. Let me give you just the lay of the land as your characters re-enter the hotel and convention center. The main thing is the mystery takes place on the convention center side of the hotel, where there is a theater, the Fran Tulliver Memorial Theater. There are 2 halls. Hall A, which is called during the cook-off the Carnarium, which is where the competing chefs are actually at serving their chili. And then Hall B, which is the so-called Walk of Fame, which is where we have basically vendors and minor celebrities with booths set up. There is a kitchen where most of the actual prep work is being done for the chili cook-off. There is a pub-style family restaurant as well called Shenanigans, and there might be other places to discover as well. But for now, that's the sort of basic lay of the land. Be thinking about what you want to do as you go back into the convention center to look into this disciples of the flesh matter for this strange man who burst into a white hot ball of flame. We're going to take a 10-minute break and come back and get started. You all have headed back into the Hotel and Convention Center. It is the most luxurious one-star hotel in La Fresca. The Moroccan Hotel and Convention Center has 200 rooms and over 20,000 square feet of attached meeting space. There are 2 halls, state-of-the-art theater. The lobby's vaguely Middle Eastern theme is obscured by flagpoles, country music flyers, and other assorted idols of Americana. There are also many secrets here in this hotel which you may discover. But let's paint the scene as you're all walking back in after having experienced this strange encounter. No matter where you go in the hotel, you can't shake the feeling that you've stepped inside a giant creature's stomach. What do you notice that makes you think it's not all in your head?
I think if you ever came to a spot that is actually quiet. I mean, obviously there are so many people, so you might not notice it. But if you ever came to an area where no one else is around, you could hear as some kind of noise that always, if you listen closely, always kind of reminds you of stomach growling.
The walls of all the halls and corridors have this kind of like ugly, sickly looking pinkish wallpaper. And maybe it's just the heat, but there's always a sense of like condensation building up on the walls. They're always kind of damp.
And I think along with that, there's like in the areas where the floor is like tile or concrete or something, the floor's kind of sticky a lot, which could just be from spilled beer and chili and what have you. But then also in the carpeted areas, it's when you walk on it, it almost feels a little spongy, like it's you're walking on kind of damp sponge.
And there's a slight breeze going through the rooms that smells vaguely like bad breath.
I'm going to go around the table and find out what everyone is interested in doing. And then we can kind of pick up with scenes after that. Shane, what do you think?
I don't think she would have gone straight to the hotel. I think she would have broken away because she's been complaining that they haven't had any vegetarian options, but there was a shenanigans nearby.
There's a shenanigans, yeah.
So I think
true.
she would go in for like a salad before she gets back into like investigating.
They might have a vegetarian Monte Cristo if you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Okay.
What's that?
A Monte Cristo is it is a club sandwich, a ham and turkey sandwich that's been battered and deep fried. And then that is served with raspberry jelly and powdered sugar. So, it is a
God bless America.
God bless
No more
America.
questions.
It is a favorite at the restaurant Bennigan's, which is what Shenanigans is clearly based off of. So, the Monte Cristo. Yes, so that was irony when I said maybe they have a vegetarian Monte Cristo. Amber, what are you going to do?
Sorry, I've been shocked.
Still pondering the Monte Cristo.
Um, I think she's curious about the Walk of Fame and whoever might be there because yeah, someone is probably like puppeteering the others and she's curious who that might be.
Okay, so you're heading over to, looks like Hall B. Okay, so we've got one to shenanigans, one to Hall B. Taylor, what do you think?
Mm, I think I will have the drink after all the chili.
So you and Shane go into shenanigans then. What do you think, Zachary?
Yeah, shenanigans.
Shenanigans, yes.
Yeah, I think Zachary will snag a like a light beer and a solo cup from somewhere, and but tag along with Amber to see what's going on in Hall B.
Sounds good. Let's pick up with Hall B. While most of the action is held in Hall A, Hall B is reserved for local exhibitors hawking cheap knickknacks and masquerading as cultural products and autograph signing sessions for the celebrity chefs judging the competition. There's a small rest area with folding tables hosting a concession stand that sells bottled water and cups of beer at an absurd markup. Paint the scene. As people flock to crowded lines to get autographs from chefs you've never heard of, how can you tell the local celebrities in the hall hunger for the validation of their fans as much as the fans do theirs?
No one is sitting down. Everyone's standing in front of their tables and waving to the guests and beckoning them closer.
All of the chefs are affectionate, like physically so. They're hugging, they're kissing, they're like rubbing the tops of heads of children. It's all very kind of familiar and intimate in a way that feels almost eerie.
I think a lot of the chefs are in in between busy times at their booths. They're kind of going around tasting other folks' chilies, and it's all very it's there's not this sense of rivalry. It's all very congratulatory and praising one another's efforts. And
I think some of the chefs are also handing out little presents for whoever might come for an autograph, like little trinkets or stuff they made on their own.
I love it. Fantastic. Amber, it's 30 minutes to sundown. What do you do?
I think I'm I'm looking for who might be the person who's least hungry for attention. Because the way Ember approaches this is okay, the really powerful, they don't have to try to be liked or they don't have to get the attention. They might be more relaxed and laid back.
Intriguing. I think you will notice there are two sort of principal celebrities here. One is Robbie Flint's, the bad boy chef of East Santa Fe. He is there in his booth, and he's like really working the crowd, right? Even with the even with the chili cook-off, nearly winding down for the day, he's still out there, like signing autographs and really doing his thing. But then there's also Kate Lee, a up and coming cookbook author, we'll say, and she's just at her booth, presently field stripping a deer right at the booth. Um, as one does. But she's doing it in a really beautiful Dior silhouette, like housewife dress. Like she just stepped
Mm.
out of, a sitcom from the 1940s. But she's field stripping this deer. You can hear the rip of the skin as she pulls it off the flesh. And she kind of gets in there with the ribs and cracks the bones. But she does it with so much expertise and skill
Mm.
that she doesn't even break a sweat. And there are
Mhm.
just a few like admirers looking on.
I
What do you
think
do?
I'll go there and have a look.
Sounds good. Um, Zachary, or who was it? It was Zachary, right? Going to Holby. What do you do?
I'll go check out the celebrity chef guy, see if I can get a sample or see what is getting the crowd so excited at that booth.
Yeah, I love it. It's really good. Um, fantastic. We'll check in with you both in a moment. Shenanigans. A pub style family restaurant attached to the hotel. Convention attendees congregate each night to catch up, network, and awkwardly hit on people trying to catch up and network. Unhappy servers wearing green suspenders and leprechaun hats scurry through the throngs of stumbling congoers, skillfully swerving to deliver drinks and bus tables. Let's paint the scene. Amid the shamrocks and fake sports memorabilia, framed photos above the bar commemorate past Great Dagoya County Chili Cook-Off champions, going as far back as 1979. What strange fates have befallen past winners in the years since their victory?
One of last year's winners, not last year, but one of the years before, while he was making chili, his dogs kind of attacked him and ate him, and no one knows why.
I think one of the previous winners, after s- starting to go on to bigger and better things from this, suddenly developed a life-threatening allergy to capsaicin and died tasting their own chili.
One winner was involved in a pretty brutal car accident, not too far outside of Dagoya County, um, but only their foot was found at the scene.
Mm. I think um, mm, last year's winner was disqualified because um, they found out they actually didn't include any meat. It was in fact vegetarian chili, and now there's like their picture is like on a separate section, like a wall of shame.
Nice. Shane, there are 25 minutes till sundown. What do you do?
I imagine it's sort of like one of those things that's like a wait to be seated establishment.
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't anyone at the front, and so she's obviously goth and patient. So she's going to snatch one of the menus from behind the like front desk, and she's just
Top of the
going to seat
morning to
herself.
ya.
Oh, there you are.
People, all of the waiters and the bartender, they all kind of stop to yell, "Top of the morning to ya! Top of the morning to ya!" Which they're required to do whenever somebody walks into the establishment, whether it's morning or not.
It's like almost 7 p.m.
The hostess says, top of the morning to you. How many in your party?
2.
Taylor, what are you doing right now?
I'm shocked at their weird demeanor, and I'm checking out the booths if there's something interesting
Oh,
going
yes,
on there.
there is. Yes, there is. Taylor Hahn, you see someone you know sitting in one of the booths. Trace Tulliver, who was once your best friend, but the relationship ended badly. What happened between you and Trace?
A tale as old as time. Trace developed feelings for me, and I didn't reciprocate, and they went somewhat mad and stalked me for a while, and that was the end of our friendship.
He's there, he's sitting in the booth. He's actually wearing like chef's whites. And he's like having a beer and he looks really like tired and stressed out. Are you going to try to avoid being seen? Yeah. Good. The lady says,
But I'm also curious, is he with someone else?
go ahead and make the meddling move with composure as you try to like keep keep from being seen.
I have composure. Well, that's a 4.
4. We'll pick up with that in a moment. Shane, the hostess says, okay, I've got like 2 options for you. We've got a single booth over there. Naturally, it's right next to where Trace is. Or I can seat you at the bar. What do you want?
I'll take a booth.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Follow me, please. And she's leading you both to the booth. She's like, okay, so she's kind of running through the specials. She's like, in case you haven't had enough chili yet, we also have our Luck of the Irish chili bowl, which
I
is
just
special.
want like a salad.
You came to Shenanigans for a salad.
Yes, I'm vegetarian.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sure
So
we can
no
figure that out.
meat in the salad.
I'm not actually your waitress. I'll just seat you, and then you can deal with that there. Top of the morning to you, as another group comes in, and then that sets off a chain reaction of top of the mornings to you all throughout.
Shane will roll her eyes and start to pull out a cigarette and just light up. Because this is 1987, you can do that.
Oh, it is
here.
87. Yeah, you can. You can just smoke.
And she's going to start looking around, but as a Shenanigans, I imagine the wall is just sort of filled with like ephemera and tchotchkes and all sorts
Yeah.
of bullshit. So I think she wants to sort of just start looking around at it, like inspecting it, seeing like if there's anything here that might point to either weirdness in the town itself or even like point to the presence of like that big man or the alchemical symbol, like something that like if there's some proximity to that.
Yeah,
here.
restaurants like this, I have a very strong feeling they don't have restaurants like this in Germany and Austria. Restaurants like this are like the walls are covered in bullshit, right? Like like pictures and photographs and junk and like all kinds and signs and car hubcaps and all kinds of crap. And yeah, so there may be something of interest on the walls. Make the meddling move with reason.
Okay. Can I argue, since I'm sort of like trying to connect with that moment with that big man, that I'd like to use sensitivity?
I'll take it.
Sort of
Yeah,
like,
I'll take
yeah,
it.
like
I'll
an
take it.
intuition thing.
You've convinced me.
And I'm sorry, I forget. Our conditions don't affect us in this,
They
or
do
do they?
affect. They do affect
Okay.
you in this. Your conditions, that is the same between Latchkeys and
Okay, so do either he watched it all happen or anything goes apply?
Not yet.
Okay. That is a 9.
Okay. I think your clue is going to be something that you have to follow up on to get the clue. I think as you're like, you're kind of maybe like you like step to go to wash your hands or something and you get your cigarette out, you'll see at the bar a man who is wearing a Casablanca trench coat and a wide-brimmed fedora, and he's sitting at the bar, and there's like a cloud of cigarette smoke around him, and he gives you a tip of the hat, and he kind of gets up and he's got his Zippo, and he says, didn't anyone ever tell you? Beautiful people shouldn't light their own cigarettes. And then he lights the Zippo to light your cigarette.
She'll put down her own lighter and let him light her cigarette and just sort of blow smoke seductively in his face.
We'll pick up with that in a moment, but you will get a clue out of it. Taylor, before we get too far, you hear Taylor Hahn. Is that you?
I try to ignore it for a second.
Trace gets up from his booth. And he's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?"
Nice to see you too, I guess.
I mean, I guess.
The last time I saw you, you couldn't get enough of seeing me, and now that's how.
Well,
I mean,
the last time the last time I saw you, you told me to fuck off, if I remember correctly.
that's correct.
Right. Well, how have you been? You went off to, I guess they say UNM. I don't know, University of New Mexico. You went off to UNM, right?
Yep, and you're a chef?
Trying to be. I mean, I work here at the convention center, at the hotel kitchen. But anyway, my
Yeah.
my dad got me the job. It's neither here nor there. Um, yeah, yeah. I also participated in the chili cook-off. I got knocked out in the first round though. So
Well, okay. Congrats on the job, I guess.
listen,
Is it?
sorry, I shouldn't have bothered you. I'll let
Yeah.
you go back to eating your
That's
whatever you're gonna eat.
yeah.
But,
I'm not eating anything right now. Just checking out the place because weird rumors and stuff, and we're road tripping, and
oh, you're on a road
just
trip. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
with a
Uh,
bunch of friends. No one you know.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Uh, cool.
Um.
Well,
Yeah.
this is really awkward.
Well, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Um. So you working the whole festival thingy?
Well, I'm just mostly in the kitchens now, helping out with the final rounds of the competition. They're getting ready to judge it in a little bit. I honestly, truth be told,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of here drowning my sorrows. I'm a little upset. I got bumped out of the chili cook-off in the first round. I was kind of hoping that, I don't know, I was kind of hoping to do better so that I could, I don't know, make a name for myself or something, or just find, I don't know. Not everybody went off to the University of New Mexico to pursue their dreams.
Yeah, I'm sorry I studied and you didn't,
Well,
and got
it's,
my grades up and stuff.
haven't you ever heard of, haven't you ever heard of the term affluenza? Like, I'm a Tulliver.
So,
My mom's name is on the theater over there. My ancestors founded this place. They built it. I I I've always had everything, and therefore I've had nothing, if that makes any sense.
no, it doesn't. Not really, no.
Fine, whatever. Okay. Well, enjoy your Monte Cristo or whatever it is you get, or your beer
Yeah,
soup.
thanks. I guess you didn't make that, did you?
No, no, I didn't.
Okay, good, good. You know,
Uh,
just wouldn't want to upset my stomach any further.
oh, so that's a dig at my cooking now?
No, no, not at all.
Hmm, right.
Since you got eliminated in the first round, I probably didn't even taste yours.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just go back over to my booth then. I can see that you are still the font of humanity and sympathy that you always were.
Yeah, that's exactly who I am. And please think of me that way if it helps
And
at all.
he slinks off to go back to his booth, and we'll just leave it there. Amber. Kate Lee is a cookbook author famous for her thrifty organic recipes made exclusively with foraged roots and meat she hunts herself. A beautiful woman in her early 30s, when she's not in camo and hunting boots, she prefers classic Dior silhouette dresses, like right now. She always keeps a hunting knife within easy reach. She sees you come up, and just as you walk up, she is sawing the antlers off a deer. Hi.
Oh, hi.
Do you have an interest in field stripping?
Uh, I mean, I've got no experience, but if you don't mind me watching,
You know, people think that what I do is probably very surprising. I think, you know, no one in my life expected me to be doing this. Like, when I went to law school, I didn't even know how to cook. But now I understand how important it is. And she digs her hands into the carapace of the deer, into the guts, kind of ripping it out. Now I understand how important it is as a wife, as a mother, as a woman to provide for your husband and your children. It is the ultimate expression of love. She rips the guts out and sloughs them down. You're very young still, but you look like the kind of young lady who has aspirations for family.
sure. I mean,
Do you have a special man in your life, dear?
I do.
Oh, yeah? How nice. Has he put a ring on your finger yet?
And Amber looks in the direction of Zachary and
Is Zachary the
says,
man?
and says, nah, he is not fully aware of it. I'm afraid, but I'm working on it.
Oh, you better get him to hurry up. This day and age, as soon as you turn 24, you're an old maid. You don't have much more time.
Well, I definitely want to get my degree first before marrying.
That's really good. That's so modern and very sensible. And she goes into a cage. She has like a cage of rabbits. She sets them down. She's like, you probably don't want to be here for this.
Actually, I think I do want to stick around.
Oh, yeah? She's an interesting character. She's field stripping these rabbits. We'll keep it veiled in accordance with our lines and veils, but I will just say that she ruthlessly and efficiently snaps their necks before shucking them like a glove off of a wrist. So, what do you want to do with yourself?
I mean, I could see myself working in accounting, a nice law firm.
Hmm, good. What are you going to do if, say, the Ruskies finally get around to dropping a bomb on us and all this goes away? Are you prepared for that sort of future?
I mean, how likely is that?
Well, I don't know. But it's better to be safe than sorry. If there's ever a world-ending apocalyptic event, I'm prepared to not only defend my family but provide for them during the nuclear winter hellscape to follow.
You seem rather charismatic.
Thank you.
So maybe you can tell me who's in charge here.
Make the meddling move with presence.
Oops, getting my dice. Does any of my conditions
No.
apply?
No, you're okay.
Want to. Yeah, just gonna roll. And that's a 9.
Okay. Zachary, I think as you are kind of maybe checking out the booths, you said you were maybe going to go like look into Robbie Flint's and see what the big
Yeah.
deal was. You're approached by a woman, cheerful woman in her mid 50s. She's wearing a neon yellow fanny pack and a weathered GDCCCO 79 t shirt. She's like, hey, I'm Mora Ravish, but my friends call me Mo, because whenever I find a bowl of chili, I just gotta have Mo.
Zachary takes a second to work that one out, and then says, "I'm Zach. Uh, you one of the cooks here?"
No, I'm just a fan. And she kind of shows you her t shirt. I've been coming to the chili cook off since 79. I love it here. I just love chili. I can't get enough.
Oh yeah, which one is the best?
Well, it really depends. Right now, this year, I have to say, I'm a little disappointed in the semifinal result. I thought there were a few chilies in there that really had a chance to go all the way. I'm not sure what the judges are thinking this year. But I did get a chance to sample, well, let's just say something a little off menu, a special chili that I don't think the public is ready for it yet. It's probably best that it was a behind the scenes kind of thing, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, my friends and I we heard some rumors about that kind of thing. What's so special about it?
I mean, I could probably get you a bowl. I know people.
I mean, sure, but I'd kind of like to know what it would be eating.
First, let me ask you your opinion on something.
Shoot.
Where do you stand on the great debate? Do you believe that chili is something that is made with vegetables and beans in addition to meat? Or are you like the Texans who believe that chili is strictly meat and broth?
You know, I'm an athlete. I try to eat a balanced diet. Some vegetables and beans are good and alongside the meat, but you can go pretty meaty in my book.
It's a very diplomatic answer, Zach. So you play football, huh?
Yeah, go Lobos.
Oh, love that. I love football. My husband Jody used to play football. He's gone now. But I do feel like whenever I come here, I'm close to him, you know? It's almost like I have a piece of him inside me whenever I'm here at the cook-off.
He was a fan too. He used to come together.
Oh yeah, he used to love to get into some chili.
Huh. So, this secret recipe, did I pass the test? Am I in?
And she kind of turns and she gives you a wink. And she beckons you to follow her. Do you follow?
Yeah, I think I'll kind of just gesture over at Amber if Amber sees me, just to say, like, kind of indicating with finger, I'm going with this lady.
Hmm.
You might come along.
Kate Lee says, "Is that the lucky guy?"
Yeah, that's the one.
Don't let him get away, dear. Hog tie him if you have to. Do you know how to tie a knot?
I mean, I know how to tie shoelaces. So yeah.
So let's pick back up at shenanigans. Shane, I think you're at the bar at this point with this guy. Kind of a, he's got the fedora, the trench coat, and he's smoking an unfiltered cigarette. Abraham Rosenthal's the name.
Shane Wright.
Don't take this the wrong way, Shane, right? But this doesn't seem like your kind of joint.
It isn't, but it's apparently the only place in town where I can get a salad.
A salad, eh? Well, Shane, I didn't get into this business that I'm in, the private detective business, by not being able to pick up when someone is not being entirely truthful to me. You're hiding something. And I want to know what it is.
What do you think that I'm hiding?
Listen, I'm not some flim-flam man straight out of Chi-Town. I didn't haul my caboose all the way to the sticks just to chin around with all these chili-eating jamokes. I'm here for answers. And I have a feeling you're here for answers too.
I'm sorry, I only understood a few of those words. Are you here looking for someone or something?
Oh, yeah. Yes, Shane, I am indeed. I've been hired by the family of a chili cook-off attendee who disappeared last year. They think there might be some answers at this year's cook-off about what happened to their son. I'm here to find those answers if they're available to be found.
What have you found so far?
He says, well, not much, except, well, this was kind of interesting. And here he pulls out from his pocket what appears to be a bone. He says, do you know what that is, Shane?
It's a bone.
It is specifically a human finger bone. Guess where I found this, Shane?
In the chili?
Not quite. Close, but no cigar. Or no cigarette, if you will. No, I found it in the kitchen. What do you suppose a human finger bone is doing in the kitchen at the Moroccan Hotel and Resort?
I don't know, but it sounds like it could be kind of scary.
I think you may be right, Shane. There's something going on, some sort of dark business. I think you and I should stick together. I don't
How
know
can I
why.
trust you? I just met you.
You can trust me because you don't have any choice. It's you and me, kid.
What about my friend over there? And she'll gesture over to Taylor.
When you look over, you just see a fog of cigarette smoke. It makes the whole place seem sort of monochromatic. Can I buy you a drink, Shane?
I don't drink. You can buy me an iced water, though.
Cheap date.
I wouldn't call this a date.
That's your clue. The clue is finger bone, human finger bone found in kitchen. Taylor Hahn. It's 15 minutes until sundown. You've gotten your drink order. What did you end up ordering for food? Shane never came back.
Food?
Yeah.
No.
Are you
was
even hungry?
not today.
You've had a lot of chili
No,
today.
not at all.
Yeah.
I am having a beer.
Trace keeps like glowering at you. You can see his eyes above the bench line, you know. Kind of just like, and when he sees
I'm
you looking at him,
somewhat
he like looks down.
interested. Yeah, I'm curious what he's actually, I mean, why he's here of all the places, and I also kind of keep looking back
You can make another meddling move with
at
composure.
it.
Yeah.
Can only get better. And that's a 10.
Nice. I think Shane never comes back. We don't know where Shane is. But
It disappeared into the smoke.
disappeared into the cigarette smoke. But you'll overhear a little bit of a conversation that takes place between Trace and someone who you can't quite get a good look at. But they're talking about the history of the hotel.
Mm.
Trace says, Well, I don't know what else you want me to say. I've told you the whole story. During the construction of the hotel in 1933, workers discovered a mass grave containing what appeared to be the bodies of heretofore undiscovered Neolithic hominids. My great great grandfather, Jason Tulliver, insisted work go on as scheduled, and the remains were lost. Hell, they might still be down there for all we know. Now, would you, like, please get off my case about this? And the person they're talking to says, "That's all I wanted to hear. I needed to hear it coming from you, Trace. I'll see you in the theater when it's time. When it's time for the Feast of 10,000 Teeth." And this person gets up, and you catch just a glimpse of them.
Mm-hmm.
A man who looks very pale and with a kind of bug-eyed look and oversized incisor teeth. Looks like a feral Steve Buscemi, and he wanders off.
Okay.
Trace just sighs. Oh, God.
I think I'll give this another shot. And I order shots
Very
for
good.
Trace and me. And this time I sit down at his booth and slide one of the glasses towards him, and let's try this again.
Nice. I put the text
Hi,
of your
Trace.
I put the text of your
Long
clue
time
in
no
the
see.
chat. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll pick up with that in a moment. I put your text in the text of the clue in the chat so you can note it down. Let's take a quick 5-minute break. We'll come back, do a couple more scenes, and then we'll be good for the day. Zachary, it's 10 minutes till sundown. Mo Ravish. She makes a big show of like looking left and right to make sure no one's going to see the two of you sneaking into the kitchen, which is attached to Hall A. So you had to go to Hall A then to get to the kitchen. Once the coast is clear, you get into the kitchen. The hotel's kitchen has been rented to the GDCCCO for prep work unsuited for the live show in Hall A. The stainless steel counters and appliances are in remarkable condition given the amount of cooking that's been done. Access to the kitchen's industrial walk-in freezer is strictly prohibited. Let's paint the scene. Everyone, what odd cooking instruments do we see around the kitchen? How do they seem more suited for surgery than cooking?
Oh, there's got to be like a bone saw.
There's something like oh God, how do I describe this in English? Like we stretch open a speculum.
Like a rib
To
spreader.
stretch open orifices.
Mm-hmm. Not quite a rib spreader.
I get you
Spreading
now.
something. There's a tray of dirty surgical clamps.
I picture there's like implements you would rather find at a coroner's to drain a human body of blood.
You get back to the kitchen and Mo says, "Oh, look there. It's Ma Merriweather." And she kind of grabs you excitedly. Ma Merriweather, she's a fixture on Channel 94's Mid-Afternoon Madness block. Haven't you ever seen her show, Ma Merriweather's Mouth-Watering Meats? Oh, it's terrific. I didn't know she was here this year. And you
We
will...
may have lost Rob.
Oh, did we lose
I'm
Rob?
still here.
He's
No,
not
Rob's still
moving. No,
there.
his picture wasn't moving. I'm sorry.
Ma Merriweather, and you can see her, Ma Merriweather. She's this, she seems like just like this little pleasant, grandmotherly old woman. She's wearing an apron that says Home, Heart, Hearth, and she's tending to a large pot of chili. Mo says, "Let's go say hi."
Is that the secret recipe?
Could be, could be. Ma Merriweather. Hi, I'm Mo Ravish. I've been to the chili cook-off every year since it started back in '79. This is my new friend Zachary. Is that a pot of the special chili? Ma Merriweather turns and she says, "It sure is, dear. There's something real special about sharing a meal you put your heart and soul into. Eating together, that's what makes us a community, a family." And she ladles out a bowl of the chili. It's a little bit like communion, I suppose. We come together to give thanks and appreciate the flesh that was sacrificed so we can survive. Ain't nothing more beautiful in the whole world. And she moves that chili to you, Zachary. What do you do?
What's in it, man? What's what makes it so special?
Just a little pinch of cayenne and cumin and a whole lot of love.
Sounds good. And I'll grab a spoon and take a bite.
Amber, it's 7 minutes until sundown. Kate Lee is kind of assembly line style. She's got the rabbits all shucked, and she's got a cleaver, and she's just chopping their heads off, and she quickly, expertly flicks the head into a little trash bin next to her table, and she stacks the rabbit bodies like cordwood, and she's just chop, chop. Do I owe you a clue right now?
Yeah. Clue and a complication.
Yeah, I thought so. She's kind of going on and on about being a homemaker and all this other stuff and how you got to get your man and, do whatever you can to keep him and so on and so forth. And as she's going on like this for a while, she starts going into this like story about she starts like telling a story about how her ancestors on her father's side of the family, many, many years ago, her ancestors helped originally settle this land. And she's telling the story about how they had a really, really rough winter, and eventually they had to do the unspeakable in order to survive. There was no food, crops were dead, and, well, sometimes you have to make really hard decisions when it comes to saving yourself, saving your family. You have to do things that, well, that might seem horrible and taboo. But I know that if my great, great, great uncle Ezekiel hadn't eaten those people, I wouldn't be here today. Chop, chop. That's your clue. This story about settlers engaging in cannibalism. She's chopping rabbit heads, and at one point she misses, and she just chops her finger, completely severs it. Look at me, clumsy Clara, as she raises up her hand and there's blood just spurting all over the fucking place. Please make... You still get the day move. There's still 6 minutes left, 5 minutes left. What do you afraid is going to happen if you lose your nerve right now?
I'm afraid I will faint and someone will take me somewhere else, you know.
Roll with composure.
Does any of my
Nope.
conditions apply? Okay. Well, I faint.
What'd you get?
Oh, let's see what I actually got in composure. Yep, that's a 6.
I think I'll take over the fiction for a moment. She's like holding up her hand, which is spurting blood out of where her finger used to be. And she's like, "Hun, would you help me out? And would you just put pressure on that while I find some gauze in the first aid kit?" And she like gives you her hand, now missing a finger, blood going all over the fucking place, spraying on your cheek, spraying in your mouth. And she's like, she's rummaging around looking for the first aid kit. And there's blood just all over your face, all over your hands. Are you trying to apply pressure? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to, and I'm trying not to, you know, vomit.
And eventually
It's just too much.
we
Yeah.
just see you, yeah, we see you, your eyes roll and you just collapse. Taylor.
Yeah, sounds good.
Taylor, there's 3 minutes until sundown. You ordered shots. Trace is kind of downing them, and he's like, "I knew I was going to see you again, Taylor. I knew it. I dreamed about it, actually. You want to hear about my dream, Taylor?
No. Are
Well,
you okay though? I
I'm
mean,
going to tell you
who was
about it
this
anyway.
person?
I
Okay.
dreamed that you were a deer and you were being run down by wolves. Maybe I was the wolf, or maybe society was the wolf, maybe family expectations was the wolf. I don't know. But the wolves, they got their fangs in you and they sunk their fangs deep into you and they tore at your flesh and they tore and tore over and over again and blood was spurting everywhere.
I
And
see. Maybe you were me and the wolves were the strange guy you were just talking to.
Don't try to turn this around into something that it's not, Taylor Hahn. That's what you like to do. You always like to turn things around. I'm not going to let you this time.
Is that what I'm doing?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe, maybe
It
not.
just sounded like you were in some kind of trouble is all.
We're all in trouble, Taylor. Don't you see? It's almost sundown. It's almost time for the Feast of
Yeah.
10,000 Teeth.
What's that then? And why are we in trouble? I mean, teeth, that does sound like it's the wolves in your dream, no?
Oh, it's all coming together, Taylor Hahn. It's all coming together. Now you want to know things, huh? Now you want to talk to me. Now you want to be my friend again?
I always wanted to talk was just other things I didn't want with you. You know? Talking was never the problem.
Make the meddling move with
Again.
probably composure.
$11.
Nice. Shane. Abraham Rosenthal says, "So what do we do now, kid? You and me. You ready to blow this gin joint and get to the bottom of what's
joint?
going on here?"
Yeah, sure. Just let me go get my friend.
He says, "I'll come with you."
That's fine. It's a free country.
A free country, yes. But are we free spirits? That's the real question.
She just glares at him and turns and starts to head towards the booth where Taylor is.
You'll see Taylor with his friend, who you don't know, or a former friend.
Taylor, we're leaving.
Give me a sec. Oops. I accidentally turned the video off instead of the sound on. Give me a second. I'm just getting some info on what's happening tonight.
What is
Trace, have you
happening
met
tonight?
my
Who is
friend here?
this?
Trace looks up and
This
says,
is Trace.
"Oh, are you Taylor's girlfriend?"
No,
No.
no. Just a friend.
Listen,
No girlfriends, no boyfriends.
I'm going to give you both some free
Not for
advice,
me,
okay?
that stuff.
Some free advice from me to you. Get the hell out of here.
Okay.
You don't want to be here.
You're right, I don't want to be here, and yet we are here because there is something afoot.
And it is now 2 minutes to sundown. Trace pulls you in close, Taylor, in the booth, and he says, "John 6:53, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you." And at that point, he takes a fork and he just jams it into his own eye.
Ah, Jesus.
Top of the morning to you, top of the morning to you, top of the morning to you. Back in the kitchen. That was your clue, by the way, the quote. I'll give you the text for it later. Back in the kitchen, you've had the chili. Zachary, it's the most delicious chili you've ever eaten. How does it make you feel? How does it become an experience beyond merely eating a hearty stew of spices, beef, and beans?
I think it's just like, Zach's probably had a few beers during the day, but suddenly his head is just perfectly clear. And it's like he's just woken up from a great night's sleep, and there's this warm feeling spreading throughout him. And he turns toward Mo and says, "Hey, you're right. This is really something. Why do they keep it? I can see why you keep it invite only. This is amazing."
Ma Merriweather and Mo both look at you with smiles and they say, "Yeah, it's really delicious. You'll get a real taste for it." And by eating the special chili, you have to take a condition called a taste for it. You already have 3 conditions, so please clear Dolly's boy and take a taste for it. And you must also turn a key, either the key of Good Eaten or one of your keys of desolation. What do you think?
I think I'm going to do the key of Good Eating.
You have 3 options there. Which one do you want?
Text up, so. I think the third one is the fun one, right?
Each road tripper, all of you,
Each.
explains which of their fellow road trippers would make for Good Eaten. What kind of power do they have that you could take for yourself if only you were able to consume them? Think on your answer for next time. Zachary, as you're finishing up your chili, with mere seconds to go before sundown, you see someone in a Hampton the Pig costume walking out of the kitchen into one of the halls. Amber, you've passed out. Kate Lee is kneeling down by your body, caressing your cheek with a bandage wrapped stump of finger. Taylor and Shane and Abraham, you're all watching Trace Tulliver repeatedly jam a fork into his eyeball, pulping the eye, the fluid dribbling out, and he's laughing hysterically. You can hear the chunk 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 all throughout the convention center as the doors automatically lock. The lights go out everywhere and the emergency lights pop on. Everything is just cast with a strange red glow. And then you hear, some of you in the distance, some of you much closer, the revving of a chainsaw. And we'll end there today.
That's not what I expected.
Exactly what I expected.
There's no end of session questions until you resolve this mystery, and so we go straight to Stars and Wishes.
This is a fun little mystery. Yeah, no. I am super into the like blood diner, blood feast vibes. TCM2, it's all over the place there. But because I remember reading this from the contest, and to see where it's evolved is really fun. And I'm really into the sort of entry points for how we get here. And I also like the sort of like meta-ness of like us being us, but also different us's, which I think is really fun and gives us sort of an excuse to sort of play different characters without totally going like off the deep end, or like, still having some investment in who they are.
But you can also play them really hard and play them, like really gonzo if you want, which I love.
Yeah, totally. Um, yeah, no, there was something about your Kate Lee, when she was talking to, I think it was Amber, where she was just sort of doing that sort of like doting, like, that was just very creepy to me, very effective. Yeah, it was a small thing, but it was really effective for me. Um, uh, Zach, being a jock himbo hottie, totally into that. Uh, loved I love yeah, I loved everyone's sort of different interpretations of who they are here. I love Amber as this sort of like preppy Heather, you know. I'm really, as a wish, I want to see her go to town on one of these cannibals with her driver, with her lucky driver. Oh, uh,
Oh, lost
and
Rob.
yeah, and eh, and to kind of keep going on that thread, the total like contrast of Taylor, A being a mask here, but also keeping the theme of like their enjoyment of riding bikes with their motorcycle. I thought is kind of like a cute through line that kind of ties it back to the real world, quote unquote. Um, no specific wishes other than like, yeah, I just want to see how Gonzo this gets. Because like I said, I've read it before, but I haven't gotten the chance to play it. So I'm just excited to see, you know, how much it gets. Because I'm not a fan of food horror personally. Not because I don't like it, but because I really don't like it. Like just that unnerves me. So I'm excited to be squeamish because it's rare when it happens.
I can
Yeah,
go
I
next.
enjoyed. Oh,
Oh, sorry. I
go
went so
ahead.
long. Okay. I really enjoyed Shane being the goth chick this time. That was pretty cool, and the way you played her. And Taylor being awkward with Trace. That was also a really good scene. I really liked how Zachary enjoyed the chili, and it seems like, oh yeah, there's no downside, it's just delicious. And overall, I think you've done an amazing job, Jason, playing the NPCs, all the campness, but also the creepiness. It was very visceral overall. I really enjoy this mystery. And yeah, my wish is I definitely want to find out who talked to Trace, that mysterious NPC. And yeah, then we will have to um, probably get violent ourselves to get out of this mess.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun leaning into the alternate versions of the characters. Yeah, Jack took the words right out of my mouth of describing Amber, alt Amber, as this kind of Heather's character, and yeah, Jack's spin on Shane reminded me a lot of Alison from the Breakfast Club, I guess, and then we get the different version of Taylor with, you know, still trying to get my head around what's going on with him, but really interesting. And I'm kind of delighted that I feel like we've got like 3 or 4 clues, which is probably not enough. So like, are all 4 of us going to end up in the chromatic desert? This could get really interesting. Had a fun time. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next session.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed the all the interactions with the NPCs, and I had so much fun in that scene with Trace. I've never had so much fun while being awkward. So and but it became creepy very quickly. So yeah, and also I'm really curious how the scene, not the scene, what's gonna happen with the woman with the finger? What? I mean, just so nonchalant about it, like, oh, give me the gauze. Okay, yeah, like that's gonna help. Okay. And yeah, I also love all the characters, and they're the same but not. And it's interesting to think about what could have happened in our world, in our time, for the characters to become the characters they are in the different worlds. So maybe if Amber hadn't, I don't know, discovered goth music or whatever it is, I don't know, but yeah, just a lot of food for thought, and that's what I enjoy. And I will think about this tonight.
Yeah, I have a lot of stars. I really love this mystery. It's really fun. We changed it a lot from its original contest entry form to make it into this new Lost Transmissions form, and I'm pretty happy with it. It has just such good like splatterpunk vibes, like Jackie Kong vibes, like very it's very camp. It's very John Waters. It's got like so much like so many great like touchstones. It's just got a lot of weirdness. Like the NPCs are really cool. It's got this weird like noir detective airdropped into the middle of it for some fucking reason. like um and it's just great. But the changes that we made to it, I added the changes that kind of made it connect more directly to the events of the main Latchkey storyline. So like including the Janie Meatpackers connections and the Hampton the Pig stuff, like that was all added in. And I really like this version of it. I think it's work. It just really operates on a fun level because you get to like have this really gonzo, really splatterpunk, really over the top experience, and it doesn't affect your main storyline really at all. Like it exists just outside of it. So that's really, it's a fun place for it to be. Specific stars. I also very much enjoyed the scene between Trace and Taylor. That was very awkward, but it was also like, but I could also like kind of like I could envision the scene. Like I could envision like these two characters and like they're true like Taylor clearly trying not to like catch his attention, and then we see why, right? So that was really fun. I also think it's really interesting that like in this version, like yeah, the Taylor's mask. I think that's really interesting. Um, I love how Jack. I really love how you're playing Shane in this one. It's just such a good vibe, and it's so different from the Shane that we know, and there's this like there's this almost like dissociated detachment, which I find really intriguing in this character, like um, how they ended up here, why they're friends with these people, and all that stuff. It's intriguing. Yeah, and I'll echo as well. It's fun to see Amber in this like kind of like Heather's mode. That's really cool, a lot of fun. Star for Rob for like eating the chili, right? This is not the time for defensive play, and I'm really happy that you like leaned into the danger and did the thing that this clearly the thing that we should be doing to have the most fun. So yeah, I really appreciated that. And for wishes, I'm just really excited to we will definitely finish this next time. It's a two shot at most kind of thing before it's wrapped up and done. It's about to get really, really gnarly. Essentially, I'm just building up until we get to the moment that we're in now, and where it basically becomes a horror movie, where you are still theoretically trying to investigate and solve the problem. So I'm just excited to do that, and it's nice to be back with. I was about to say back with these characters, but it's kind of like different versions of these characters. So yeah, but I think that's all I've got. Any other stars and wishes? Okay, then we are just about right on time. Thank you all so much. I'm going to wave goodbye to folks watching the video.